and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a gnome that y'all requested last year, y'all requested this year. I finally got around to finishing him up. He's the Elf on the Shelf Inspired Gnome. If you want to know how to make this little guy, stick around. I show you how. And I always tell y'all that the pattern is in the description below. If you don't see it, you can always go to my website, www.pattyjgood.com, and you can always download it there. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, we're going to start with the body, and we're just going to glue down one side. I've given you the pattern for this in the description below. Just go ahead and cut it out. And then we're just going to fold those two sides together. And then let that dry, and then we're just going to turn it right side out. And we're using a cone for this, and I'll give you the link for the cone that I'm using in the description below. And just go ahead and pull it right over the top of your cone, pull it all the way down to the bottom where it overhangs a little bit, and then we're just going to go ahead and glue that in. Okay, next we're going to do the legs, and I've given you the pattern for those. You're just going to go ahead and glue down one side, fold them over, and you're folding them over on the long side. These are 2.5 by 5 inches, and we're folding it over on the 5-inch side. And then I'm taking a pin, just a safety pin, and I'm just going to hook it to one end, and then I'm going to drag it through to get to the opposite side to turn this right side out. This is an easy way to turn this right side out. Just kind of pull your fabric down around it till you get it started, and then just go ahead and pull it on through. Okay, for the booties, we're just going to go ahead and glue two pieces together, and we're going to stuff them here in a minute, but we're not going to turn these right side out. We're just going to go ahead and glue all the way around them and glue them together. Now leave the top open because we are going to stuff them. And do the exact same thing for the other little booty. We're going to take some polyfill and we are going to stuff the legs. Now we're going to leave about 1.5 inches flat without any stuffing in it because that's how we're going to attach it to the body. We don't want to put too much stuffing on the part that's going to attach it to the body because you don't want him setting at an angle. But you go ahead and put a little stuffing on both ends, but do leave 1.5 inches that doesn't have any stuffing in it at all. And then we're going to do the same thing with the booties. We're going to stuff those as well. And then once you get those stuffed, we're going to go ahead and glue down on the end of it and pinch it together because that's how we're going to attach it into the little booty. So you want to go ahead and pinch that and glue it so that it's a little bit skinnier to go inside the boot. And then go ahead and take some polyfill and go ahead and fill up the boots. Now leave the top part open because we're going to put that leg down inside there. And pliers really work good to get this started, and then use a popsicle stick to go ahead and push it all the way down in there. But you want to try to make them pretty full. And then we're going to go ahead and attach the leg right on down in there, and we're just going to glue it in. Now we're going to trim them out, so don't worry about it being perfect around the edge there. We are going to put some trim on them. And then once you get them in there, we're just going to go ahead and glue around the edges. Next, we're going to take a 1/4 inch by 3 inch piece of white felt, and we're just going to trim right around the edge of that boot just to kind of make it finished out there. Just find your center point. We're going to glue it in the front, and then we're going to go around to the back and glue it around there. And do the exact same thing with the other leg. We're going to make the hat, and we are just going to glue down one side and fold that other side over to the top of it. Now again, the pattern's in the description below. If you don't see it there, you can always get it off my website at pattyjgood.com. And then just go ahead and turn it right side out. Okay, next we're going to cut the beard, and we're going to cut it at 1.5 inches by 2.5 inches long. And then just cutting behind the backing on the faux fur only, go around in a U shape, and then we're going to trim off, then we're going to clean off all the excess fur. The collar, we're just going to go ahead and fold this over and join these together in the back. And then we're going to turn the part that we just, the back part, we're going to pull it to the front because the beard will cover that up. And then we're going to come down about 3¼ inches from the top of the cone, and that's where we're going to pull that to. And then we're going to go ahead and attach our beard right to the front. And that'll cover up that seam. Attach the legs, we're just going to turn them over to the back. Come about 1 inch from the edge, and we're just going to take some straight pins to stick into this. And then we're going to glue it as well. But these are just some little straight pins, just so you can get it set. Make sure you get it exactly where you want it before you start gluing. And I'm putting 4 of them in here. And then we're going to go ahead and flip his legs forward, and we're just going to glue them in. And then I'm just going to take a circle that I cut out, and I'm just going to glue it to the bottom. And then we're going to pull all the sides together and glue those closer to that to cover all that up. Next, we're going to make the arms and measure 4 inches by 2 inches, and we're just going to fold those over on the 4-inch side and glue those down. Okay, and then to turn the arms right side out, we're going to do the same thing with a safety pin. Just hook it to one end and then push it right through the center of that loop and pull that on through. Next, we're going to make the little mittens, and we're just going to take 2 pieces of fabric and glue them together, leaving the top part open. And again, all the pattern is in the description below. You can just download it and then cut your pieces out. And I'm giving you both of these in PDF and SVG, so you can cut them on a cutting machine if you want to. But these were pretty easy to cut out by hand as well, or even with a paper cutter on the straight ones. And then we're going to go ahead and turn them right side out, and then we're going to attach them to our arms. And I didn't use a thumb on these because they were so small. I didn't, if you sew, you could probably do a thumb on those, but it was just too small when you're gluing. But just use a popsicle stick to make sure that you get those ends rounded out. Okay, next we're going to take a pipe cleaner and we're going to fold it in thirds, and we're going to put that down inside each one of the arms. Just give it a little bit of body. And then we're going to go ahead and attach our mittens to them, and then we're going to glue those in. I'm just taking a 1/4-inch piece of felt and I'm just going to trim out the edge of this, just like we did the little booties. And just kind of squeeze it tight so it does pull it together. And do the same thing with the other one. To attach the arms, we're just going to come almost right up to the top edge of where that little collar is, and we're just going to go ahead and glue those on. You're probably maybe a 1/4 inch down from the collar. And then I'm going to take a string to tie around it to hold it in place. And you want to tie this pretty tight because you want to make sure that they stay together. And then the arms won't stick up like that once you get the hat on. To trim out the hat, we're going to take a 2-inch by 10 1/4-inch piece of fleece, and we are just going to fold it over on one side and glue it down, and then we're going to do the same thing for the opposite side. So you want to end up probably with about 1 inch trim for the hat. Attach our trim, we're just going to start at the back of the hat and go all the way around. Now you want to leave probably about a 1/4 inch overhang on the bottom part of the hat. And then go ahead and pull those together in the center and glue those together. Okay, next I'm using some tan fleece and I'm just going to make some little elf ears. Now I didn't give you a pattern for this. You're just going to kind of cut in a U shape, just like we did the little mittens. And that's probably not even but maybe 1 inch wide. And then go ahead and glue around the circle area, leaving the top part open, and then glue those together because we are going to turn these right side out. Okay, then go ahead and turn them right side out. And then we're going to tuck the edge, the raw edge in, and we're going to glue it together. I'm just going to take a little bit of stuffing and just put it up into the peak of the hat. Not a lot of stuffing, just a little bit because you want to make sure you still can get it over the cone. And then just pull it right over the top part. Then I'm just going to add a little bit right up underneath the top of the hat, right in the front. And then go ahead and pull it down in the back, and we're just going to glue it right into the back. And then we'll go around the edges in a little while. Next, I'm just going to glue his arms straight down to the side of his body. Now, if you're going to bend him a certain way, you don't want to do this part, but I'm going to have him sitting straight on the shelf with his arms to his side. And you can also add wire to his legs instead of stuffing if you decide that you want to make his legs bend as well. You didn't have to add stuffing if you do want to bend him, but I'm going to have him sitting straight up on the shelf. And I'm going to glue the other arm exactly the same way. Okay, next I'm just going to attach his ears. I'm just going to glue straight across there, and I'm going to put it right up towards the edge of the top of his hat. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the opposite side. Okay, next I'm just going to take a half wooden bead, and I'm just going to attach it for his nose. Just lift it right up underneath the top part of his hat and just push it in there. And then we're going to start gluing the hat around this to glue it all together so that we can make sure that none of that stuffing comes out. And then put a little bit of glue around the top edge. Just try not to get it too much into his hair. And then go ahead and glue the nose right to the hat. Okay, and that's how he turned out. You can set him up different ways. I'm just putting him into a wreath that I had setting there. Show you a couple of different ways that you could position him. You can bend his legs if you put wire in them. You can bend them actually without wire in them because I was able to bend it that way. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video upload. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.